Livelihoods March How to Supplement focuses on how to form and run a FPO, that is Farmer Producer Organization. India had over 138 million farm holdings as per the Agricultural Census 2011. Of this, about 92.8 million were marginal farm holdings having individual operational land holding of less than 1 hectare, while another about 24.8 million were small farm holdings with individual operational land holding size less than 2 hectares. Collectivizing farmers into producer organization had been considered as one of the way to overcome the challenges faced by the small and marginal farmers. This approach has demonstrated the potential to be more successful in breaking farmers' dependency on intermediaries and enabling them to access better markets in terms of input and output. In the last decade, efforts have been made towards creating and strengthening the producer organizations and thus strengthening the position in the mainstream. Now let us understand what is a farmer producer organization. Farmer producer organization is a group of farmers with special common interests. They have a formal membership, status, functions to follow, bylaw rules. Before forming a farmer producer organization, a farmer interest group consisting of 15 to 20 farmers, the farmer interest group consists of small and marginal farmers above the age of 18 years. Approximately 50 farmer interest groups from 10 to 20 villages come together to form FPO. On an average, there are 1,000 members in FPO that can go up to 2,000 and not beyond that. FPO provides a decentralized production and centralized services of post-harvesting management, value addition and marketing. Let us understand the concept of FPO. FPOs are with a group of rural farmers based on principle of common interest. FPOs have membership and benefits are availed by the group members, i.e. the farmers. FPO plays a crucial role in maintaining healthy relationship with partners in an institutional environment. Why there is a need to form FPO? To ensure better income for the producers, the farmers, through an organization of their own. In rural area, the small and marginal farmers, due to lack of credit facility, have hindrance in purchasing the agricultural inputs, lack of crop insurance and no market linkages to sell their produce. Rural farmers approach money lenders or traders for agricultural inputs. Knowledge regarding quality and price of the inputs in the market is limited for farmers, and as a result they tend to depend on money lenders or traders. Especially in seeds, pesticides, fertilizers point of view, the farmers are exploited by the traders. These incidences created problems and burdens on farmers' life. To improve the situation, there was a need for common interest group formation and get the better bargain power to bulk buyers of producer and bulk suppliers of inputs. FPO started playing an integral role in marketing the harvested produce on prices and control the intermediaries' profit for their products to sustain their organization. There are 7 principles in forming FPO. First principle, voluntary and open membership. FPOs are voluntary organizations. No discrimination in membership based on gender, social, religious, political, racial accepted in a FPO. It should be open to all categories of farmers. Second principle, democratic farmer member control. Farmer elect representatives democratically and give accountability to the members. FPO members, both men and women, actively participate in policy making till the development of FPO. The members have equal voting rights like one member, one vote. Third principle, farmer member economic participation. Farmer members contribute capital to FPO. Farmer members should utilize money for internal loans on certain interest rates and repay it to organization. FPO has the surpluses, it is reserved for the organization and its development. Fourth principle, autonomy and independence. FPOs work like an autonomous and independent body. It solves farmers' problems and tries to look into development of its organization. Fifth principle, education, training and information. Farmer Producer Organization provides education, training and information to its members through various agencies. All the farmers use this support to strengthen themselves and contribute to the development of the organization. Sixth principle, cooperation among FPOs. FPO's motive is to cooperate with other FPOs and share knowledge among themselves, which will strengthen them and take the FPO movement local to global. Seventh principle, concern for the community. FPO's development depend upon local community through policies approved by its members. At last, FPO should be a decentralized body which provides centralized services to its members. Let us look at the features of the FPO. The FPO should be formed with farmers who are producers, small, marginal, medium at priority. It should be a member-owned and member-managed organization. Facilitation of FPO is mandatory. FPO should be a registered body by the respective state government. Each member should be a shareholder in the organization. FPO deals with business-related activities for the producer group. It works on the development of the producers. It shares profit among the producers. The surplus amount is used for development of FPO in future. FPO should conduct a meeting monthly. Let us understand the initial steps before starting FPO. The basic step is to meet the villagers and introduce the concept of FPO to the farmers as well as the common people. Generally, farmers cultivate single or multiple crops on the land. It depends upon the natural resources available in that particular region or cluster. FPOs are formed depending on the majority of producers involved in producing that particular crop in the region or cluster. Value chain analysis can be done to understand the major crops cultivated and its pattern of cultivation. Conduct the baselines and feasibility studies to ensure the viability of FPO in that region. The details such as types of farmers, land, inputs, crop cultivated, marketing, storage, processing and value-added services are a very essential step towards understanding the geographical pattern of the region or a cluster. Farmers who wish to form FPO can be taken on an exposure visit to other FPOs working successfully in a different region. Sufficient time should be given to the farmers to join the FPO. Making frequent visits to farmers' house and clearly explaining them FPO objectives and its benefit should be taken care of. It may take around 3 to 6 months for mobilization of the group. Following other steps in starting an FPO. The understanding regarding the crop cultivation pattern in that particular geographic area, it's necessary to form a group of farmers having common interests. The farmer group can comprise of either male or female or mixed group of both categories. They should be cultivating either single crop, internal or multiple crops. According to NABARD, an average of 1,000 farmers or maximum of 2,000 and not beyond that should be considered as the coordination among the members becomes difficult. Identifying a name for FPO, members choose a name for FPO to create an identity for the group. Farmers select their efficient leaders or representatives for smooth functioning of FPO. Elected representative body, board of directors should comprise of 5 directors, among which 2 persons should be women directors. Decision taken by the representative body is executed by the executive board. Members of FPO mutually decide on an amount of membership fee to be paid, which could range from Rs 200 to 1000. Each member can save up to Rs 1000, which is decided mutually as a share amount in FPO for credit lending to other group members when in need. After formation of FPO, it is necessary to be registered with the government. Let us look at the registration process of FPO. These are the steps: identifying the promoter directors, preparing a draft article of association, preparing a draft memorandum of association, hiring the services of a consultant to get the article of association and memorandum of association drafted, calling the first informal meeting of the shareholders to approve, and selection of the promoter, determining the authorized capital and cost of each share, collect capital and savings also if possible. After formation of FPO, the representative body fills bylaw form and add documents like minutes of meeting, photocopy of elected directors and the signatures on bylaw form. The directors board pay the registration charges to register in their respective states. Producer organization can be registered under any of the following legal provisions. Section 25 of Indian Companies Act 1956 as amended as Section 8 in 2013. After 30 days, FPO gets the certificate from registration office. FPO directors use this certificate and enclose director's identity card, photos, draft of memorandum of association, draft of articles of association, and all documents which are related are enclosed for bank. The bank officials scrutinize and give an account number to FPO. Savings and share amount of the members are deposited in this account. The last step in FPO is to conduct a meeting with farmers to share their ideas about possible businesses through the FPO. Structure of FPO. Every FPO formed with group of farmers. All farmers cannot be representatives of FPO. Hence, representatives are elected. They are directors and chairperson. Directors are elected by members in direct method and chairperson is elected by directors in democratic way. The tenure of directors is 5 years. As per discussion of all the members, elected body conducts meeting regularly like once in a month, and general body meeting is held once in a year in premises of FPO. The meeting is conducted to discuss about development of organization and welfare of members. Resolutions implemented by the staff agency is also discussed. Staff agency is appointed elected body. This body is representative of the organization and it is also mediator to the government and the members. Services of FPO. FPO provides various services like financial, business and welfare to its members. An indicative list of services include input supply services. FPO purchases quality of inputs for farmers like seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, etc. Financial services provides crop loans for purchase of tractor, agricultural tools, pump sets, construction of open well, laying of pipelines and sprayers, etc. Procurement and packaging services. It procures the agricultural outputs from the farmers and contributes in storage, value addition and packaging. Marketing services. Agricultural outputs and it weighs, transports, maintain and at last sell the output to the market. It also bears the losses and risk related to the fluctuation in the price in the market. Insurance services. It provides services such as crop insurance, life insurance to the farmers. Under the schemes like Pradhan Mantri Krishi Vikas Yojana, PMKVY, Param Pragati Krishi Vikas Yojana, PKVY, and Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, PMYBY. Technical services. It provides consultation and knowledge related to best practice of farming, marketing, information system, diversifying and improve skill enhancement in agricultural production. From harvesting of produce to processing of produce and value addition of it. Networking services. To find out marketing channel for support price of production. It has used information technology for online traders. It develops business services to rural producers, build linkage with the processors, traders, consumers and government members. FPO is the representative body and acts as a mediator to government and its members. It coordinates with agriculture, horticulture departments, animal husbandry departments like to get the agricultural tools, inputs, cattle on subsidy. It reduces the risk and gaps in collection of inputs. It is a mediator between bank officials and farmers to avail the crop loans. It imparts training on technology and skills related to it. It also provides the services to tenant farmers or land lease farmers. It provides grading, drying and storage facility for the produce. It provides transportation facility for agricultural produce to reach the market. It facilitates the natural and organic farming among farmers to reduce the crop cultivation cost. It provides the support in procurement and marketing of the products. It provides the basic infrastructure for the harvesting crops like moisture machines, winding machines, weighing machines, warehouses, cold storages and processing units. It negotiates to wholesale traders to market the products. It may help the farmers in availing the social benefit schemes from the government like pension, health schemes, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. It provides the training on new innovation technology to the farmers and readiness to follow up the technology. It tries to protect the village natural resources with the support of farmers. It fights for establishment of procure center and purchase it on minimum support prices. It regulates the middleman interference to reduce the exploitation on farmers. Now let us look at the activities of FPO. After the formation of FPO, it conducts the following activities. FPO purchase agri input, seeds, agri tools, fertilizers, pesticides on bulk level at a low cost price. It provides credit facility to respective members. It provides procurement center to collect production and value added marketing facilities to harvesting of production. It regulates exploitation of intermediate system in harvesting time. It provides various supports like agri inputs, financial, technical, insurance and marketing. It provides insurances to cultivated crops in erratic weather. It gives trust to the cultivation of the crop. It provides training and awareness on best practices of crop. It elects representative run organizations in democratic way, and it is a mediator to government and members. It can demand better policies in agriculture from government. It develops the organization through education and learning by good management. It implements various projects and also helps in monitoring and evaluation of the FPO. Types of FPOs. It is categorized into three categories, that is resource oriented FPOs, community based FPOs and commodity based FPO. Resource oriented FPOs are either crop related, that is paddy, groundnut, turmeric, cotton, maize, jute, red gram and soya, or horticulture. Community based FPOs such as weavers, fishermen, toddy toppers and potter man producer organizations. Commodity based FPO, milk producer organization, handicraft, sericulture. Now let us look at how to strengthen FPO. Understanding the village community and gaining their trust is at most important in strengthening of FPO. Seeking ideas on strengthening and revitalizing the community farmer organization will contribute a lot. Encouraging local leaders for community meetings. Establishing a core group of leaders to draft a proposal. The production rate increases after the formation of FPO. The credit repayment rate among the farmers also increases if the FPO is formed. It reduces the input cost on farmers and increases the availability of inputs. It also increases the food and nutritional security. The time of the farmer is saved in transporting the produce. Additional employment is generated due to increased intensity farming. It reduces the migration. The market linkages increases both backward and forward. Present scenario of FPOs. In India, out of 814 FPOs, 706 FPOs are registered. Apart from that, 7,88,709 members have enrolled their names and actively utilize the services from FPO. Most of the FPO has been actively running in Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka and Maharashtra. It provides good services to the members like access to faster technology, improved productivity, reduced risk and acquire the repayment of credit and strengthening agriculture based livelihood. The FPOs play an active role to give the quality services to the members like inputs, credit technology, production and market value addition facility. It is needful for the empowerment of the members, i.e. the farmers, and get the better income and regulate the middleman intervention and give the minimum support price to the farmers.